the Fiador knot or the Hackamore knot. Hello everybody, welcome back, and in today's little video what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to tie the Fiador knot, and it's normally a knot used as a harness on a horse. And what I will do is, if you're interested in this as a harness for a horse, if you go down to the description below, I'll put a link in where you can see a picture of an actual horse's harness with the Fiador knot included as well. But in this particular case, I'm using it as a way of having 3 loops on a decorative knot at this point here. So if I bring that up, you can see here there's a nice decorative diamond knot in there, and all I've done is tie another 2-strand diamond knot. Now this knot here is not included in the video, but I will put a link in the description below how to tie the single version, which this is, and the doubled version of the diamond knot. But what we're going to do today is we're going to concentrate on the Fiador knot here, and it's just a nice way of having 3 loops on the end, in fact 4 loops if we include the one here that we've actually created. So you have your main lead coming up here, which can go around your belt or something like that, and then from this point here you can have 3 loops from a fairly decorative form of diamond knot, which is known as the Fiador knot. So anyway, I'm going to go and get a piece of rope. Right, so as you can see, I've got my cordage in front of me, and I'm just using 2 arms lengths here because all we're going to do is tie the Fiador knot or the Hackamore knot itself. If you were going to make a harness for your horse, you would want more than this because there's more to a harness than just a Fiador knot. But what I'll do is, in the description down below, I will put a link to show you the completed harness and where the Fiador knot itself fits on that harness. But in our particular case, what we're doing is just creating a decorative 3 looped or 4 loops if you include the top one here, 4 looped decorative way of keeping carabiners together, keys, things like that. So anyway, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cordage and just lay it out in front of me in a nice line like that. Towards the left hand side here is my standing end, and the right hand side is going to be my working end. Now the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to get a hold of my cordage and just twist it so we form a loop at this point here, and all I've done is I've just basically folded the cordage over like so, so it's going around, over itself, underneath, and then off to my working end. Now we'll move that to the left a little bit. Now the next thing that I do is I get hold of my working end. So grab a hold of your working end, and then what I want to do now is go underneath. No, I don't. I'm lying to you. I want to go over the top and down through the loop. So go down through the loop like that and bring all the cordage through, with the exception of a small bit. Now, if you were actually making the Fiador knot itself for a horse, then this loop here becomes the noseband for the horse, if you see what I mean. And there's 1 loop here, so we've got the noseband, we've created 1 loop here, but what I'm going to do in our case is not going to fit a horse. I want them roughly the same size, and so all I'm going to do now is just take them up so they're approximately the same size. Once I've done that, I then bring my cordage and I go underneath this one here. So at this point here, I'm going to go underneath that one with my cordage and bring it all through. So take it underneath, bring it all through. There we go. Keep the shape. You want to keep the shape itself, so just keep that shape. And then the next thing I do is I take it around my standing end So take it around my standing end, I go over my standing end and then underneath my standing end and just pull it through just gently so as not to disrupt too much. And then what we've got is we've got this shape here. So I've gone over my standing end at that point there and then underneath. Now the next thing that I do is I take my working end again and I pass it over this one here, underneath that one there, over the next one. So it's over, under, and then bring it out at that end. And I just want to bring up the slack, take the slack out of it, and then what I'll do now, when we've taken the slack out of it, well, what we've got here now is, just tidy that up a bit. So now you can see here now I've got my 3 loops. I've got one loop here, this is the noseband loop, and I've got the 3rd loop here at this point. And then the next thing that I do is I get hold of those 2 loops there, and those 2 loops, so I'm going to grab it there and grab it just there, and they're going to come up through that middle at that point there. So all I'm going to do now is just gently fold them underneath, get those 2 ends and bring them up like so, just gently, and then gently pull up on everything, and gradually as I pull up we will end up with 2 loops forming at the top here. Just gently pull it through, just neaten it up, gently keep pulling, and eventually as you do it you will then end up with a nice diamond shape. There we go, there's my diamond shape starting to appear. And then as I pull it up, pull up on the loops, and you can see here now I've got my 3 loops, 1, 2, 3 loops here, and then these, my 2 ends. So my working end and my standing end are coming off this end, and it's at this point here where I actually tied, let's see, a diamond knot, which I'll put in the link below, so that we'd end up with a 4th loop if we want one. You don't necessarily have to. If you're carrying on making the harness, then you would go on and follow those instructions. But so as you can see here now, as I pull up on these nice and tight, I'm now getting myself a nice symmetrical knot. As I do it, just pull it up tight, nice and neat. And it takes a bit of fettling to get it done, but you can see here now I've got 3 loops all evenly spaced apart, and then here's my working end and standing end. So that's basically it. That is the Fiador knot or the Hackamore knot. And don't forget, more information in the description down below. And if you enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up. If you hated it, boo, give me a thumbs down. But whatever you do, please leave me a comment and tell me, if you use this knot for real, tell me about it, because I'm interested to hear about it. And yeah, what I'll do is I'll see you again next time. So anyway, take care and have some fun, and let's get knotting. Bye bye.